comments, remarks, so use the Q&A section to drop your questions. And for those on YouTube, please drop your questions on the live chat. My colleague Usman would share a link, hopefully, that you can also use to upload your questions, but you can share on the live chat. He'll try to get it, and then you can share on the chat box. So during the MOU section, we're going to talk about the guarantor's consent, the attestation, a couple of things that are captured under the memorandum of understanding between we and you guys. Because the fellowship, as we had mentioned in our email, is a provisional scholarship, so you do have to accept it. And so you want to really understand the conditions of accepting the fellowship. So we'll discuss all of that, and then we'll take your questions, and then we'll explain the next steps. How do you accept your admission? How do you tell us that you're interested in your admission? We'll explain that, and then we'll call it a day. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting and engaging session. So please ensure that you pay close and rapt attention to each and every section, because it's very much important. So we'll dive straight into it. But before I talk about the learning track change, which is the first thing on our agenda, I would just like to tell us a little bit about the Women Techsters Fellowship. I'm sure you'll be thinking, why are you telling me now? After I've applied, gone through first stage, second stage, third stage, and now I'm here. Do you think I don't know enough? Well, I think you might not know everything that Women Techsters Fellowship program seeks to, provide to you in terms of your career growth. And so I'll be taking you through some of the benefits, right? What is your benefit as a fellow for being selected? Number one is that you get to participate in a 6 months technical training, tuition free. What this means is that you don't at any point in time get to pay for training or whatsoever. It's a fully, it's a tuition funded scholarship, meaning that you just have to show up in class with your device and with your internet connection. That's it. That's the only thing you have to do, right? So you have to show up in class with your internet connection and your device. It's tuition free. That's one of the benefits of the Women Techsters Fellowship Pass Fellowship Program, and you're a beneficiary of the Class of 2024 program if you accept the admission. Well, some people will say maybe it's trivial, but it's not, because if you compare how much it costs to take even a short bootcamp training program. Hi, Blessing. Your hands are up.
Hi,
Do you have a
Tony. So
question?
there's a
Yeah.
feedback that you should please speak slower. So this is us asking
Oh,
that
okay.
you please speak slower. Thank you.
All right. Sorry. My apologies. All right. So I'm going to speak slower. Of course, I forgot that we have a couple of other African countries on the call, right? That might need to get the information slower. So I'll tone down. But before I continue, hi Usman, can you confirm that the YouTube live is on and streaming, just so that we're not leaving anybody out of the session? So Usman, please confirm that the YouTube
Yeah.
live is streaming and we have participants following.
I think yes, we do. It's streaming already. However, we are sharing a new link with them now. The previous link had some glitches, but we are sharing a new link with them now on the YouTube where everybody is. So we're trying to bring everybody to the new YouTube link. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. So can I continue, or do we want to hold on for a few minutes for them?
Maybe we can just hold on some few minutes before we start anything serious. Yeah.
Okay. So I think I can just proceed with talking about the benefits, because at least that's not a major, it's too critical information that needs to be shared. So once again, please confirm that you can hear me and that you can hear me loud and clear. We'll try to buy time before going into the most important section of today's info session, because of those that are on YouTube. So let's try to buy time for them. So I was saying that we are super excited to have each and every one of you. And I was explaining the benefits of the Women Techstars Fellowship Program. And I said, number one is that you get to participate in a 6 months technical training for free. Yes, for free. You don't get to pay anything for it. It's a fully funded tuition program. And then number two is that alongside the technical training, you get to participate in a 6 month soft skill training with industry experts and professionals. What this means is that you have soft skill training session every week within that 6 months when your technical training is ongoing. So every week you have facilitators, industry experts come to speak to you regarding soft skills. Now, soft skills pretty much mean skills that are not technical inclined, but that are necessary for your career growth and success. So things like your LinkedIn optimization, how to prepare your CV, how to ace interviews, corporate things that you should know, how to act and behave in a corporate sector, especially as women, right? We'll be discussing gender related issues when it comes to your career growth, all of that. So the soft skills session is an amazing session that you'll also benefit from. And this session is also lasting for 6 months. Same with the technical training, and it's also free. You don't have to pay anything to maybe attend the soft skills session or not. So the soft skill class is planned with your weekly activities. And then number three is that you have access to a community of women across 22 African countries. Take a minute to take that in. Yes, you heard me right. Access to a community of women across 22 different African countries. And permit me to say even more, and even outside African countries. So yes, you get to meet amazing women in class, in groups, in study groups, in different walks of area, right? You get to build that community and network necessary for growth. You are not just working with people in Nigeria. If you're in Nigeria, you're not just working with people in Ghana, you're not just working with in Kenya, you're working with people across 22 different African countries. Some of the African countries that you saw our application go out in. So you're working with those amazing set of people, and even outside African countries, right? You get to work with women across these countries, and even outside African countries, as I had mentioned. And then number four is that you get to learn skills that are relevant for the marketplace. I said it that your soft skill session is not just going to provide you with the skills necessary to do the job, but it's also going to provide you with the skills necessary to thrive in the market space. And then you have access to resources and opportunities for professional leadership, education, and personal development. So while your facilitators are teaching you, training you, they're also going to be sharing resources with you. What kind of resources will be necessary for you to practice with, what kind of resources will be necessary for you to work with. So those are the things that you'll be getting access to, and you would also be receiving a program certification right at the end of the training program. Most of our alumni can testify to how much the certificate has helped in terms of applying for further studies, applying for jobs, applying for internship. I dare to say that the Tech for Dev certificate is highly, highly recognized. Yes, and I'm not boasting about it. That's true. Complete fact. So yes, so you get to get our certificate at program completion if you complete the program. And then you would also join the prestigious Women Techsters Alumni Network. Our alumni network is rich and flourishing, right? Rich and flourishing. I mean, you get to meet women in different African countries that have finished the program before you, are already in jobs, already in internships. You get to network with them, work with them. You can partner with them to work on projects, on to compete in hackathons. It's an amazing community really, and you'd benefit greatly from that community. And then mentorship pairing with seasoned professionals. So a couple of you will have the privilege to be paired with mentors, mentors that are going to hold your hands as you walk through your career journey. You're going to have sessions with them that you can ask questions that you're facing, challenges that you're going through, anything you need clarity on. So you have access to good mentorship. So yes, these few points of mine are the many benefits that you seek to gain from the Women Texas Fellowship Program. Hi, Blessing.
Hi, Tony. Please
Your mic
confirm
is
that you
muted.
can hear
Yeah.
me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I also just wanted to add to some of the benefits of
Yes.
being a Techstars fellow. Aside from the fact that you are able to network with and work with women across 22 African countries, also the fact that all through your step in the next 6 months and beyond, Tech for Dev will be working alongside with you. So we have like different mechanism put in place to ensure that you are following. We have like weekly, bi-weekly meetings where we get to learn from you on how the classes have been so far. So imagine every 2 weeks we have something that has to be done. We also have like aside from that, we also have sessions with you, your classes, your facilitators, your instructors, just to know how we can improve our learning. Something also very exciting about the Women Techsters Fellowship is that you also get to nominate somebody to be like your class rep, be the overall class rep, more like consider it like a university. And how in your universities you have like student union governments that will be liaising with the organization or the school as a whole. So these are benefits. So you, aside from learning technical skills, learning soft skills, you also get to learn leadership skills as well. And trust me, something you don't want to miss out on. You also get to aside, we understand that you are in different regions, so we also give you opportunity to be able to network with people in your different regions, learn how they are doing it. We understand that there are some people who are students here, some people are currently working, some people are mothers, and so we would also give you like a platform where all mothers can meet together and speak about the challenges and how you're able to navigate through the next 6 months. All students can come together to speak about how you're able to navigate through. For people who are just starting their career journey, everybody are able to come together to discuss how we can move on together. So I just thought I should quickly mention this so that you know the benefit of being a Women Techsters Fellow. You are in for an amazing ride. Of course, they are close to it. When I mean close, it's not money close, but you get to find out. But they are close to you being able to participate fully on the program. So over to you, Toyin.
Thank you so much, Blessing. Thank you so much for adding that. I think that's a very critical and important
I
benefit,
want to,
right,
Tony.
that you added. Hi, Usman. Hi.
Yeah, just not to mention that we can now proceed. We have over 500 people on YouTube already, and the others are
Okay,
joining, so we can now
awesome.
start.
All right. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we'll be talking about is the learning track change. So yes. So now let me explain why this happened, right? So at Tech Project, especially with the Venture Access program, we ensure that our training are instructor led. This means that you are not undergoing a self-paced training where you get to watch uploaded learnings or uploaded training sessions and then take assessments. You get to have teachers take you through each content of the curriculum day by day, right? So it's a live training session where you watch your instructor do something, you practice it, and then you follow. Now, because of this instructor-paced training method, it's important to have a reasonable amount of students in class to ensure maximum participation, right? So we have a cap for each learning track. We have a cap that means that the facilitator can handle this amount of students, is able to take the students through this process, is able to ensure that each students are following and they are getting the best value from the training program. So most of the learning track, a lot of people chose the data science and cybersecurity learning track, and that had exceeded the class size for us for the 2024 class program. So we had to move them to another learning track. Now, in moving them to another learning track, these are the things we took note of as the email had captured. One, your assessment grade. So if your learning track was changed, it means that your assessment grade wasn't up to a particular cutoff that was used, right? So when we go through that, people that really scored really high in their assessment were kept in the learning track, in the following learning track, the data science and cybersecurity learning track. Now, other learning tracks were not above their class size, so nobody was changed from those learning tracks. It's just these two learning tracks, right? Mostly from data science learning track to be specific. So we look at your assessment score, and then we do that. I see a lot of people sending messages, oh, but I was really passionate about this learning track. I totally understand with you. However, we didn't just move you just because, we were enjoying it. It's so that you can get the best value from the program. And so when we checked your assessments, we also checked your second most preferred. Now, unfortunately, your second most preferred was still around the tracks that were full, speaking about product management, data science, cybersecurity, product design. These were tracks that were still, close to the class size or even over the class size already. So we couldn't move you to those classes. However, we had three learning tracks that were considerably full, and those were blockchain, 3D modeling and mixed reality, and mobile application development. And so we then move ahead to look at the course of study. What did you study in school? Most people that did engineering and courses related to that, you find out that you either had mobile app, 3D, or blockchain, because we feel like you've had sufficient, knowledge from your institutions to be able to help you thrive in those learning tracks. However, because we are humans and we listen and we're not robots, we're willing to swap learning tracks on this condition. Please pay close attention. You also have it written in your email. If you were swapped into 3D modeling, blockchain, and mobile application development, and you want to move, let's say, from 3D modeling to mobile app or to blockchain, we're going to provide a form that you can fill, right? It will be sent to your email. So you can move from this learning track. However, please note, if you selected 3D modeling as your first choice, or you selected blockchain as your first choice, or you selected mobile app as your first choice, you can't change, right? You can't change that. If you selected any of those three as your second choice, it will be tough for you to change that. We'll consider it, but it will be tough. However, if your first and second choice was around data and then cyber, or data and then product, any of those learning tracks that are not considerably full, and you were given 3D, blockchain, and mobile app, you can swap in between those three I listed. So it means that you can go from 3D to blockchain, or you can go from 3D to mobile app, or you can go from blockchain to 3D, blockchain to mobile app, or mobile app to 3D, and mobile app to blockchain. Yes, so just these three learning tracks are full. So those are the three learning tracks that you can move into. So you can't move from any of the other learning track in terms of product management, product design, data science, cybersecurity. Please, those learning tracks are full, like they are beyond class size, and we can't make any adjustment to it, right? So yes, so the only places you can move to right now is blockchain, 3D, and mobile app. And this three learning tracks are the only learning tracks that are available for people to move into. And if you were in other learning track, if you were not moved, if your learning track was not changed, please note that you do not have access to this swapping. The swapping is only available to those whose learning track was changed to either of these three and just want to move around these three that I have mentioned. So yes, thank you so much. I do hope you understand the reason why this was done, and that you are able to cooperate with us. Another thing you can do is to go through the Know Your Learning Track handbook that we shared before we took assessment. If you remember this, kudos to you. So go through that, right? Read up on the three tracks that I had just mentioned, and look at which one you would best fit in before you fill the form. The form will be shared tomorrow. The form will be shared tomorrow, and you'll have access to it. So if you have questions on any of the things that I have just mentioned, use the Q&A chat box to ask your questions, and we'll take it at the end of the session. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope we did get that loud and clear. So we'll be moving on to the next thing on the agenda, which is a very, very important section. But before that, hi, Usman. Hi, Usman. Your hands are up.
No. Please go ahead. Sorry, that was the previous one.
Oh, all right. Okay, that's fine. So I will do a recap before we take questions of all the session for today, because we're going to be sharing this recording, and I want the recording to be easy for people to listen to. So I don't want to be taking questions or doing recap in between this program section. So please bear with me. Bear with me, and let's proceed. So the next section is we're going to talk about the MOU, the guarantors, the consents, the attestation, why it's important, the $2,500 fine. This session is very, very, very important. So please pay close attention, and I'll be handing over to Blessing to take us through this session. Hi, Blessing. Confirm that you can hear me.
Hi, Toy. I can hear you. Please confirm that you can hear me as well.
Yes, I can. Though I think it's breaking a little from your end. But I think
Okay.
that we can make do with it. So maybe you want to check your network connection. and then proceed. But we can hear you.
So I'm just trying to check my network and it doesn't seem bad, but let's just proceed. Okay, so
Okay, you can
good day
proceed. Yeah.
everyone from wherever you are joining us from once again. Congratulations on making it thus far. I'm really excited that you first of all took or made the decision to chart your career in tech, and we're also glad that you decided to do it with us at Tech for Dev. One quick thing you should know about the Women Techsters fellowship is the fact that Tech for Them are very committed to ensuring that women are included, and also to ensure that men have access to decent jobs and digital opportunities. Hence why we have the Women Techsters initiative. One mistake that people usually make in the past is that, and I'm going to say it, one mistake people usually make in the past is that most of the time women who have come on the program, some people usually would think that by coming on the Women Techsters program, and Tech for Dev is supposed to, I'm doing Tech for Dev a favor. Let me be very honest with you. You aren't doing Tech for Dev a favor. You are doing yourself real good because you made a decision to chart your career in tech. It's been a very long journey coming from number of applications we received from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And Tech for Dev as an organization, we are committed to improving the quality of our services every single session and every single time. So moving on very quickly, Toya has walked us a little bit into why the change of the learning track. And I think that was very important. We started from change of learning track. One thing that Tony did not say is that based off the explanation that was given as to why learning track was changed, if you still do not feel convinced about the learning track, if you still feel like, oh, I don't want the learning track, I'm not sure that I will be able to make headway with this learning track, please do not sign the agreement form. That's the MOU I'm going to read out. I mean, the explanation. Do not sign it because you'll be bounded by it. One key thing with advice is that before people were maybe redistributed to other learning track, there were a couple of things that Tony has mentioned that were put in place. For example, some people have selected a particular course as their second choice. Some people's discipline, maybe at the higher institution, had a little bit of similarity, or we believe that your knowledge within that particular, your discipline is also going to be helpful within the new learning track. That's one of the reasons why you will probably move to that learning track. In the case where you feel like, oh, but I didn't choose what you gave me as my second choice, something you should realize also is the fact that we had to also look at the grades, and it was very important that, you know, if we have a quota system of how many people can be in a class, we had to go with the first set of people who met the cutoff mark, and then we tried as much as possible to redistribute accordingly. But the good thing is, Tony has already mentioned that if you are in any of the three, blockchain, mobile app, and 3D, and you want to, if you were offered any of the three, and maybe you didn't select it and you offered any of the three, and you want to change in between the three, there's an opportunity for you to do that. If you were offered, if you applied for product management and you want to swap to product, and you were offered product management, you want to swap to product design, you cannot swap. Let me just quickly say this right now. Or better still, you can send an email, but I honestly can tell you for sure that you may not be able to swap, because one of the key things we are told everybody from the beginning of the process is rethink your learning track, and we gave multiple opportunities for everybody to be able to make a second decision about their proposed or their preferred learning track. So moving on very quickly to, first of all, somebody will be asking, why do I need to sign an MOU? What is the essence of signing an MOU? Why is Tech for Dev asking me why is Tech for Dev asking me to sign an MOU? So remember that this is a provincial admission, and this is an admission that is scholarship based. So it means that while to you it's a scholarship, somebody is bearing the cost. And because somebody is bearing the cost, it is very important that the costs that you of the program you are on, somebody is bearing it. And because somebody is bearing that particular cost, it means that if the person is offering to pay for 50 people, then we must be able to select the right 50 set of people. So that being said, is we decided to have this debrief session so you understand the MOU. Now, what you got attached to your congratulatory email was the MOU highlight, and it is not the MOU, because I know that a lot of people had feedback around that. What you got is not the MOU. What you got was the MOU highlight. We decided that before sharing the MOU with you, we should probably have this session so you have an understanding of what you are up against and what you're signing. Trust me, the MOU is very easy to understand. The MOU is very easy. You probably will not have an issue if you've made up your mind to be a part of this program. Like if you made up your mind that against all odds, I would make sure that I will try at my best possible to do the right thing and to follow every guidelines. Because again, this program is free. I'm not sure that anybody has asked you to pay any money from the start, and nobody will ask you to, except you default, and we'll get right into it. So aside from you signing your MOU, we would also want you to find a trustworthy guarantor that can guarantee you and say, oh, I know this person and I can stand in for this person while this person is going on your program. Remember that it's a scholarship, and scholarship is not free. What it just means is that somebody paid for it, and we are accountable to whoever that is responsible for you to get that scholarship. So that being said, is some of the key things you should note about this basically is that, or in case you are wondering, why is Tech4Dev not even collecting money from us from the very beginning? Tech4Dev is not going to collect any money from you because we're a non-profit. Our mandate is to create access to decent work and entrepreneurship. So as a non-profit, the program we do across board is totally free, like free of charge. So that being said, I'm going to move very quickly to some of the things you should be expecting, and some of the things that my colleague had already highlighted in the MOU. First off is that you need to understand that for you to sign the MOU, you have to also have a guarantor that will be standing in for you while you are signing the MOU. So your guarantor also have to append their signature. Please, in the place of looking for a guarantor, don't find your friend as a guarantor. Don't look for somebody that cannot stand with you in the day of in the day of something happening. Find a guarantor that you can be accountable to. Let me tell you what happened. Last year we had people also sign the MOU, and they also signed with their guarantor. One of the things that having a very reliable guarantor will do for you is that your guarantor will help you to become accountable, because you know that you are responsible to somebody, you are responsive to somebody, because everybody is aware, both parties, that's you and your guarantor, understand the implications of defaulting. It will help you to stay focused. Yeah, so I thought I should just quickly mention that. You should know when you receive your MOU, please go through your MOU, please read your MOU, understand your MOU before appending your signature to the MOU. Okay, so you are signing the MOU because you have been selected. You should sign the MOU if you have made up your mind to accept the admission that the Women Techsters Fellowship has offered you. So you should sign the MOU. That's if you've made up your mind to accept it, because I know that some people may decline based off what we have said previously of a learning track change. If you feel like it's not something you want to do and it's not something you want to budge into, then you don't need to sign the MOU. But you should sign the MOU if you already made up your mind that you would be starting the program. Now, when you sign the MOU and you start the program, failure to complete the program means that you'll be paying back $3,000 to Tech4Dev. It's a non-refundable amount of $3,000 to Tech4Dev. Let me say this again. The program is for free. Nobody's asking you to pay any money. You would only be defaulting when you start the program and you don't complete it. And the reason is that the value of the scholarship is worth $3,000. You just deprived somebody of that particular amount, and you are liable to pay for it because you just deprived somebody of $3,000. Again, it's a good opportunity. Like, nobody's asking you to pay anything. The benefits are amazing and wowing. but you can't deprive another person of an opportunity. So think about it. For example, I'm currently working. I want to start the program. Will I be able to complete it? Will I be able to participate fully? Think about it. I'm a student. Will I be able to manage school and the Women Techsters program? Think about it. To help you understand, the Women Techsters program, the fellowship is going to be happening Monday to Friday for the next, at least Monday to Friday for the next 6 months, because classes happens Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. So depending on the country you are in, you can check your time zone to determine what 10 a.m. West African time means to you. So classes happen between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time on a learning platform. In that learning platform, you have a facilitator in class, you have people who are supervising and also taking attendance in class, so that you don't think that you can ghost it. You have a facilitator, and that's one of the reasons why we don't have a large class size, so that everybody can benefit accordingly within the class. Please, if there's any question, please use the chat box if you at any point in time have any question, and I'll be happy to take the question. So classes happen between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. Is there a possibility that you take a job? Is there a possibility that you take a job? Maybe you are currently working and you want to participate in the Women Techsters Fellowship. Yes, it works in two ways. You can choose to have a conversation with the human resource or with maybe your direct manager, or to say, or especially if you are working remotely, you can find a balance to it, to say, oh, I have a way to make sure that I can be available Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. You have a method. So think about it. As a student, is there a possibility for me to be able to manage this as well? Is this something I can do? Can I go back to classes? Yes, classes will be recorded. All classes will be recorded, but attendance is very mandatory. The recorded classes is for people who are in class to go back and refer. Like the recorded classes is to go back, for people to go back and refer, like refer to your classes, refer to what was taught, or refer to a group work. But classes are happens Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So when you sign the contract, you are saying I've signed up 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to be available. Now, we are not beasts. How would I say? Tony said that they are human beings. We are human beings with human feelings, right? So we understand that, and we are women. We understand that there are days that you probably have PMS, like days of maybe menstruation and fatigue, or you're tired, or you're under the weather and anything. You can always reach out to your facilitator and to the team to say, oh, this is what I'm going through. In the course of last 2 years, we've had women who were pregnant, who were part of the program. We had women who discovered they were pregnant. We had women who gave birth on the program. There are always ways to manage the process. There are always ways to manage the process. So it's either if you are pregnant, you can send a mail to say, oh, I'm going for antenatal this day, whatever it is, you can always send a mail. We would always find a way to understand with you. Understand? We are very, very compassionate people. Even if you are a student and you signed up for the class and you've probably been following through the class and you have exams in school, we are not going to tell you to pick the Women Techsters program over your exam. No, just there's an option to send an email. The most important thing is putting us in the loop of whatever is going on, putting us in the loop of what you want us to know and how we can support you. We are here to support you all through the journey for the next 6 months and even as we proceed. So I'm just going to move on to some of the other things you need to know about the class. Remember that your guarantor has to be somebody that knows you, that can also help you to complete the form, to say, oh, I know this person, I realize I can stand in for this person is going to start the class, this person is going to complete the class. And even in the case where this person defaults, we will be paying $3,000 back to Tech for Dev, because we disappointed. Do you understand? We disappointed. You can always find a way to ask yourself. So last year I can give you multiple examples. We had people who were working. In fact, one of the testimonials that we have shared, Celestine from Ghana, she was actually working in an organization. She was working, I think, as a receptionist or something. And then in one of those days, she was taking a class and they gave her an assignment. And while trying to complete the project, as the task that was given to her, Our system was open somehow. A project supervisor walked into the room and saw our system. And she was working in an architectural firm, if I get the story correctly. And based off what they saw, she had not even completed the program when there was an opening for a role in our organization, the same organization. And she applied for it. And this is somebody who was a receptionist, automatically got into the job opening. She was still on the Women Techsters program when she got a job based off what she was learning on the Women Techsters Fellowship program. So really, just think about it and ask yourself, which is your priority? I know that a lot of people will keep saying, oh, it's not convenient, it's not convenient, it's not convenient, it's not convenient, it's not convenient. My first question is that the moment you decided to start a career in tech, you probably had something in mind. There was a reason why you probably decided to come and learn. There's a reason why you probably decided to get into tech, right? So if one of the reasons why you decided to get into tech is because you want to change your learning pathway, then you need to be able to ask yourself, how do I plan this to make it work? Because the truth is, there may never be a convenient time for you to do this. And the second thing also is that you can ask yourself, are there options for me? Maybe I want to, if I'm going to maybe not do the program with Tech for Them and I want to go to some other place to do the program, is it free? Can I afford it? Those are things you need to put in place, because Tech for Them program is completely free of charge. Like, it is totally free of charge. So the class happened 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There is no option of I want to do weekend class. There's no weekend class. It is strictly Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's no option of can I do afternoon class. That option does not exist. It is strictly 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. time. And I will be very honest with you. It's a class that you don't want to miss. It's a class where you have amazing instructors that will hold your hands as you start the journey and will be with you even as you move through the journey. Some of our instructors are mothers. Some of our instructors are parents. Some of our instructors, like, they have strong soft skills that will be able to help you. They will literally pick you up. Some of the testimonials you see on our social media platform, maybe you think that it's cooked up. There's nothing cooked about it. It is real. We've had people who are pharmacists come on the program to learn data science, and now they are now working on how they are using their data science knowledge to impute into the work they do. Therefore, this is a school, so there's no option of, oh, I want to do evening. The class happened between 10 a.m. I'm just reiterating it for everybody to understand that the class starts between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you can think about it if it's something you want to do or if it's something you don't want to do. Speaking about your guarantor needs to be an adult, cannot be below the ages of 21. That's whoever that is going to be standing in for you as your guarantor. Guarantor has to be somebody that is above 21 years, cannot be a minor. It's very important. And if you are here and you are a minor, maybe you are 16 years, you need to also speak with your parents so that they can help you to sign as well, because I know that the program is open to everyone between the ages of 16 to 40 years. So you need to speak to your parents, because you cannot even sign for yourself. And so you will need double signature. You need somebody to be able to, when you sign, you need somebody to be able to sign, say, I know this person is taking this program. And then your parents can now stand in as a guarantor. So while we ask you to sign this MOU, I also think it's important to mention that Tech for Dev can at any point in time also deny, maybe the word is not deny, but Tech for Dev can at some point choose to withdraw the admission they've given to you in the case where you are found defaming the name of the organization or using Tech for Dev as a means of buying and selling, or you are found, trying to do something that's, if you read the MOU, you'll be able to understand, So please take note that Tech for Dev takes every form of agreement very, very seriously. So if you don't want us to tell you to stop, it's important that you do not break the contract, or there's no need of choosing to break the contract or any other thing. I would move on to say that in the case somebody may ask that, oh, is there a plan for a waiver? See, if you need a waiver, then it must be that, if you need a waiver, then it must be that you have written to us. There are maybe in certain occasions where somebody may ask for a waiver on health grounds, like we had a fellow last year who was pregnant and lost the baby, and she needed time to be able to for some people who that happened to, we came back on the program, but for her, she had to go through a lot of postpartum, and so she sent an email. Please don't do anything without sending an email. She sent an email, and that worked. I'm rushing very fast so that we can move on to other things that needs to be done. In the place where you need to sign, you'll find on when you receive the MOU, you'll see a place that says notice, where Tech for Dev is going to, the Women Techsters fellow will sign. The Women Techsters fellow will provide their name. The guarantor will also provide their name and their email address. And then there'll be a place for you to also sign. Aside from signing the program, let me quickly say, aside from signing to join the program, while you are signing, there are some things that are also very important that you need to sign and consent to. Number one is you need to consent to media release form. It is very important. Like, it is extremely, extremely, extremely important that you are consenting that Tech for Dev can also contact you to do interviews, videos and photos. And while that is being done, we can use the images for publication. If you followed us in the past, some of the faces you've seen on our social media platforms are faces of alumni or fellows, basically. It is very important that it's very important that you understand that Tech for Dev as an organization, we have your best interest at heart. But coming on this fellowship also it also means that you are consenting to the fact that we would, when we do interviews, we are able to publish it, we're able to share your videos and your stories with the funders as well, because remember, it's a scholarship and somebody is paying for it, and somebody needs to be able to know that this person that I'm paying for is doing the right thing that needs to be done. And then another thing that I should also mention at this point is, in the case where you also are placed on internship. Now, somebody has asked about internship placement. Is it automatic? It is not automatic. What is automatic right now is the training. Within the time of you going through this training, one of the things that we have committed to is ensuring that you have every knowledge that is needed that will help you to be able to access jobs. Some people got jobs while on the third month of the program. Some boosters, boot camp is even 3 weeks. Some boosters got jobs after the 3 weeks program. How much more is 6-month program? So within your 6 months, we would show you ways to, how do you navigate platforms? How do you navigate the different opportunities? How do you Tony already said, how do you optimize your resume, your LinkedIn profile to be able to access job? Tech for Dev is not going to, there's no liability that Tech for Dev is placing you on any job. But we usually will share opportunities, and we usually will find opportunities for fellows and alumni. I just thought to mention in there, we usually will do that. But there's no, you can't go through a program and just sit back and just say, Tech for Dev will give me a job. Hello, sister, I have good news for you. You may not get it. So you need to be able to put your best foot forward while you are learning, build your portfolio, share your portfolio with people. People are landing big jobs. Trust me, people are earning in dollars. Like when I mean dollars, people are earning in dollars. So please, even though we may not be giving everybody jobs, you're also mandated to sign and to consent to the fact that in the place I get an internship placement, and I agree to start the internship, that I will not break any rule. And in the case where you do that, you would be fined accordingly. I hope that's clear enough. And this is within the MOU. You just need to go through it and read it. In the case where you are assigned a task, maybe you are placed on internship. I know if you can say it's your internship is still 6 months from now, it's 7 months from now. But just note that in the case where you get an internship placement, whatever you do rubs off on us as an organization as well. And so it's very important that you think carefully, even as you pick up those jobs. You would also have to send reports to us. So in the case where you are looking for what are the rules for internship, just check the MOU. The MOU is detailed enough for you to be able to get the MOU is detailed enough for you to be able to get everything you need, like very, very detailed. So I'm wrapping up already, but I just thought I should just mention again that we are rooting for you. We are here. We are rooting for you, and we are here to ensure that you get the best of experience. But read through the MOU before signing. If you feel like it doesn't work for you, you've thought about it, that there's no how my job will give me the opportunity to be able to then like to take the class. I don't have free space, I don't have free time, I don't have this, I don't have that. Think about it carefully. Do not append your signature. If you feel like I won't be able to complete the program, if you feel like, oh, I'm a student, I don't know how to do it. If you need motivation, there are fellows who went through the program. I know of a law student who went through the program in her final year. I know of a medical student who went through the program in their final year. There are always people who have gone through this. I know of a mother who was pregnant, went through the program, gave birth, continue the program. See, motivation is plenty if you choose to. The first things first is ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because if you don't know why you are doing, if you are doing this program because you heard it's free and it's scholarship, somebody has paid for it, you may not get the best value. You need to ask yourself, what do I hope to get out of this? What's my 2-year plan? You understand? What do I hope to get out of this? How do I intend to maximize this opportunity after now? Then and only then will this scholarship make sense to you. I feel like I've taken a lot of time to speak, and I am ready to hand over back to Toyin. Toyin, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Blessing. That was a really insightful session, and I can already see that we have a lot of questions coming in. So try to take your questions, everyone, but this is what we'll do. While we're taking your questions, we're going to group them. So if the question has been answered during the session that Blessing just took, we'll not take that again. So yes, Blessing, do you want to talk about the other thing on the agenda before we move to Q&A? Or do you want to postpone that?
I'm trying to remember the other thing on the agenda.
Surprise now, the surprise in quotes. Or you want to leave it to when they have signed the MOU and we'll now put it inside the house. What do you think?
Maybe. I think
So
so.
let's do that. Okay. All right, so let's do that. So let's keep it in house because I know that a couple of people at this point are already rethinking the admission and are thinking, do I have the strength and the capacity to do this? So yes, we'll allow the people that are willing to go with us the extra mile to come in, and then we'll discuss the other thing. Okay. Hi Usman, your hands are up.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that for those who are joining us from YouTube, there's a link being shared, a Slido link. You can actually ask your question using that Slido link. There's tons of comments on YouTube, and it's very difficult for us to compile all the questions. So please use the Slido link. It's pinned on the chat of the YouTube. We are going to share it now again. Please ask your questions using that Slido link. There's a passcode you just put in where you can just ask your question immediately. Just go slido.com, put in that passcode, and you are in.
All right. So we'll think about telling you the surprise. We'll think about it. So let's move on. All right. So what are the next steps? I mean, you have heard about the MOU, the need for a guarantor, what the MOU contains. How do you then proceed from there? What are the next steps? So I'll talk about the next steps, and then I'll think about the surprise. Okay, so next steps. So tomorrow, as early as 9 a.m. West African time, or even 8 a.m. West African time, you would receive an email from us. All 2,155 of you who received an email from us saying that you've been offered a provisional scholarship. Now, in that email, you will have a recap of everything that was discussed today, in terms of the MOU, the guarantors, and all of that details. You would have a recap, and you would also have a recording link attached to that email. and then we'll share two forms. Now, some people are going to get two form links, some people are just going to get one. Now, the people that are getting two form links are those who had their learning track changed, right? So you would have a form link that allows you to be able to tell us if you want to move into any of the three learning track I had mentioned earlier, which are 3D modeling and mixed reality, blockchain, and mobile application development. So for people that were moved into any of those three learning tracks, you will have a form shared with you, right? Just in case you want to switch around those three learning tracks. Yes, so you have that form in your email. And then the second form that everybody is going to get access to is a consent form. Now, what this consent form is you're going to tell us that if you're accepting the admission. So only fill the consent form if you're interested in the admission, right? So you only fill the consent form. So in the consent form, you tell us that you agree, you're willing to proceed, right? I'm willing to proceed with this with fellowship program. I accept the scholarship program. You just fill the form, just a couple of details that we would request. You fill the form, you submit, and you will give you a few days to do this, to think about it and all of that. Now, in the email that we're sharing with you, we're going to share an updated MOU highlight, not the MOU. The reason why we are not sharing the MOU to all 2,155 of you is that we know that some people are not interested, might not be interested in signing the MOU. Hence, you do not need to have access to MOU. So only those who fill the consent form, during when the consent form will be shared tomorrow, will give 3 to 5 days for you to do that. You'll get the accurate amount of time in your email. You know how long you have. So within that time frame, what do you have to do? Think about it. Go through the MOU highlights. Go through the recording of this call. Listen to the things that Blessing had mentioned when it comes to the MOU, right? Read about it. Look for a guarantor. So have a guarantor in place. Speak to people that you want to stand in for you. Have them locked down, right? Before you then consent and fill that form. So once you fill that form, we take note of your data, right? Now, all 2,155 are getting that email. So you don't need to send an email to say, oh, I'm declining the admission offer, or I'm doing this. Don't send an email yet. Just hold on. When we send you that form that has a recap of everything we've talked about today, and we attach the recording of this invite, read through everything, read through the MOU highlights, go through it, and be sure that you want to proceed. Fill the form if you are interested. If you are not interested, do not simply fill the form, and we would not contact you with any details of the MOU again. So we'll take out your data from the list, and then we'll proceed with only those that fills the consent form. When you fill the consent form, we'll take your data, collect it, and then we will share the Women Techsters email address with you. What is the Women Techsters email address? Now, the Women Techsters email address is the account that you will be using to take your classes, that you will be using to attend classes, that you'll be using to access Teams and all of that. So you would have to log in to the Women Techstars email, right? You activate that account. Don't worry, all these things I'm saying, we would explain it in your email once we're sending the email to you. So once you first of all fill the consent form and submit, we send a follow-up email having the details of your Women Techstars email account. You would activate the Women Techstars email account, then you will sign your MOU and share using that account. We would explain these things in details as we progress forward so that there is no information overload. These are the urgent next steps. Tomorrow, you will get a recap email of everything that has been said today. Read through the MOU, digest it, look for a guarantor, then fill the consent form that is attached to your email if you are still interested in proceeding with the fellowship application. If you're not interested, please do not fill the consent form. So only those who fill the consent form are going to get access to the MOU and also to their Women Success email account. And then we'll proceed from there, and we'll also share next steps with you. Those of you who are going to be signing your MOU and reaching out to us to accept your admission. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Blessing right now, right? So that she speaks on the next step. She speaks on the next thing on the agenda, and then we'll start taking questions. Hi, Blessing.
Hi, can everybody hear me? Hello? Can everybody please hear me? I want to be sure.
Yes, Blessing, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'm just trying to make some clarification. I can see interestingly that there
Yes,
are a couple.
Blessing, we can hear you.
Okay. Let me just be sure. Okay, so I said I'm just trying to. I can see there are a lot of interesting questions on the group. I can see that people are talking about the class, the internship, and every other thing. So this is the thing, and I think that will lead me to the next thing I want to say is that let me talk about the class. Class is slated to start in October. The class is slated to start in October. The reason why we are giving you time so that you have time to sign your MOU, get prepared for your class. For people who want to think about the MOU, think about it, sign the MOU, accept it if you choose to, decline it if you choose to. And then we do not start our class as a class like the regular school. We start with an orientation. Now, the orientation is going to be between 1 week to 2 week, 2 week long orientation. Yes, you are wondering, what are we doing? So class starts, the moment the orientation starts is as good as saying that the school has started already. The orientation is going to be at the same time the normal school time would have been, that's the class time, which is like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will be having different activities for different days. Part of what we'll do on the orientation is to help you to understand your learning track again. Part of what I said October, I did not say October 1st. People should calm down. Calm down. So part of what we'll be doing is we would share information on your respective learning track, what to expect, how to collaborate with people together. We would also bring women who are in STEM, who started their journey and how they're able to excel through their journey. We would also bring some of the alumni, the people who were students on the program, the people who were working on the program, people who were pregnant on the program, and people who have become mothers on the program. We will bring them as well. And they're going to be sharing insights to you on how they did it and how they're able to navigate through it. You understand? We will also try as much as possible to bring people from different countries. If you are not able to bring them within the orientations, once you get on the program, we'll have sessions where they can speak to you on how they maximize being in their different countries and being able to participate on the program effectively as well. So I mentioned initially that Tech for Dev is very mindful of you. We do not want you to start the program and just feel like we left you. We are very, very, very intentional. So we will also, something you should know, we are not responsible for your data. We are not responsible for your internet subscription. We are not. I know that some people will say, oh, I do not have a device here. Tech for Dev is also not responsible for a device. Yes, there's a clause to it. Tech for Dev is not responsible for a device. One of the things I would suggest to you right now, and you may be wondering that, oh, but I mentioned outrightly that I did not have a device. We also didn't want to come to the point where we are outrightly disqualifying you because you said you do not have, maybe not have a device, because we believe that if there is a will, then you can do it, right? We believe that for the first few weeks, it's possible that you can find a device. So your session is going to be happening on Teams, as Tony has mentioned, but you need a device to be able to participate in it. So you can start asking yourself, classes start in October. Is there somebody that can borrow me a device? Can I lend somebody's device for a week to be able to participate in? I always like to share the story of, I'm trying to remember her name. We had a fellow from Ethiopia last year. She was the second overall best graduating student. I always like to share a story of will, perseverance, and determination. You can go and check out her story. She was second overall best graduating student. She started the program in an IDP camp. In case you don't know, an IDP camp is an internally displaced environment for people who are probably in a war zone. So she was in her country, there was a war, and she had to move to the IDP camp. So she started the program in an IDP camp. Now, or rather, maybe she even started the program in her house, but what happened and she moved to the IDP camp. Now, moving to the IDP camp, she didn't stop. She had every reason not to continue on the program. Every reason, because I mean, you are struggling to eat, you are struggling to survive. A lot is happening, but she ensured that she wasn't going to give up, and she continued the program. Now, moving on, everything got better. They moved from the IDP camp and she went back to her house. The library where she used to take the program, at the time she had gone back after the war, was already destroyed. Everything was down. So she couldn't even participate in the class fully. That's one of the reasons why I said, Tech for Dev is your friend. Women Techsters team, we are your friends. We are here to hold your hands. of course, she had contacted us and we knew what was going on. So for her, there was like, she usually would take her class because there was also no internet. So the internet usually will happen. She uses internet in the evening. So for her, she had like a more like maybe not an exception, because the days there's internet in the morning, she go to the internet, and the days that there's internet in the evening, she does it in the evening. And so she participated in one of those evenings, one of those nights when she wanted to take off, like she wanted to go through the audio of the class she missed. She was chased by an hyena. If you know hyena, you know that hyena is not children's play. So imagine you are trying to survive and learn, and then you are chased by an hyena. You would have thought that she won't come back to class the following day, but guess what? She came to class. And the testimony now is the fact that she did not only finish, because there are people who were in their comfort zone to finish. Some people were in their house chilling under AC, using free data, everything breeze is blowing you. But she did not only finish, but she finished as the second overall best graduating student for the class of 2023. See, if she can do it, you can. If Simen can do it, you do not have an excuse. I'm not trying to aspire to maguire you in case you think that I'm trying to convince you. I'm just trying to tell you that whatever excuse you want to give, some people have probably gone worse. Like I've had more situations like that, worse situations like that. Or how about a fellow who was going through the class and she was in the hospital, she was admitted for months, but she didn't even mention it to us. She was on drips on different days, but she was going through the class and she completed the program. Your excuse, trust me, if you hear some people's excuse, your excuse becomes invalid. I'm not trying to say you don't have a right to your excuse, but I'm just trying to say that if you hear some people's story, your excuse becomes almost invalid, and it just make it seem like you're making a story. You are not making a story, you are valid. Whatever it is you are saying, you have a right to it. But I just thought to also share this very quickly. So that being said, I talked about the orientation. We'll have 2 weeks orientation. We'll bring women from different countries. We'll talk to you about how they started. We'll talk to you about the challenges that you may face. Even the fellows that will be coming, that's the alumni that will be coming, we'll talk to you about real life challenges that you will face on the program, because it's not going to be, trust me, it's going to be a smooth 6 months, but it may not come free without challenges. The day you get frustrated at Python, especially for people who are in data science, the day that you get frustrated at Python, the day that Python is Pythoning you, the days that your facilitators are giving you activity. Oh yes, the days that your facilitators are giving you assignment and you need to submit back-to-back assignment. I'm not going to mince word for you. You're here to learn and I'm here to support you. I want to see you at the end of the day and you see me on like, you're blessing. I'm like, oh yes, I'm blessing. I want it to be like that, but I'm not also here to mince word. If you want to become a Techsters, you need to put in the work to become a Techsters. Some of us want to start earning in dollars, pounds. You want to start earning in dollars and pounds. People put in the work there. Sometimes they won't tell you the work that they put into it, but I'm here telling you on the back end that the work is enormous and you need to be able to tell yourself, I'm ready to do this, because there's no quitter in this camp, in this barracks, there's no quitter. So that's what the orientation will be. 2 weeks of active activities. The orientation is going to be virtual, but there's a surprise to the orientation, and the surprise to the orientation, unfortunately, I have to use unfortunately because we have a physical component to the orientation. We'll give you further details on that orientation, but the physical component is only for people who are resident or based in Lagos, Nigeria. However, it's going to be a streamed physical component. So even though you're not in Lagos, Nigeria, you need to participate, because we still take attendance regardless. It's on one of the orientation days. We'll meet physically in one location that will communicate to you. You can come on that day to take pictures and shout about how it's not easy to be a Women Techsters Fellow. See, Women Techsters Fellowship is harder than Cambridge. I can tell you for free, because the chances of you being selected, trust me, you don't know what you went through to get here. You don't know. You don't. So we'll have a physical component. But this is also for general information. In the past, we usually do not, even though some of you, probably you've looked at our picture and you've seen, I love this Women Techsters shirt that says I'm a woman in tech. I'm a woman in tech and I want one. In the past, we've always had people say, I want one. And I'm like, But now, for this year, one of the things we decided to do this year is that Tech for Dev have decided that maybe people who really want shirts should be able to get shirts, but you will get it at your cost. Tech for Them is not putting any money on the shirt, but we are making available the opportunity for you to be able to purchase I Am a Woman in Tech shirt. Maybe that shirt can be a motivation for you. Again, it is your cost. If you are anywhere in the world and you want the shirt, we can make it available for you. Logistics at your cost. If you are coming for the physical orientation, when we make information known to you, you can make provision. The shirt is strictly on pre-order. I should say this, it is strictly on pre-order. So you cannot come on that day of the maybe physical orientation and say, oh, I want shirt. It is strictly on pre-order. You get details on how to make your purchase for the shirt. You also be communicated. You also get communication on how to mention the size that you want. You can get more than, you can buy more than one shirt if you want. It is at your cost. I need to say this, it is at your cost. Before now, we probably won't even do shirts for anybody, but we feel like it will be a motivation for you. I mean, one of the testimonies we had last year was somebody said during the, so part of the activity on your program is that you get to do a community service compulsory. If you don't do community service, you will not graduate. If you not graduate, it's as good as saying you want to pay the $3,000. Compulsory community service for everybody across board, because we believe that it is important to give back. There are a lot of women and girls. Think about it. How many women and girls in your community really know about STEM? How many women and girls in your community know about software development? How many women and girls in your community even want to chart a career in STEM? It is our responsibility, your responsibility, my responsibility to ensure that we are breaking the gender norms that exist with women in tech. You know, many of them will tell women to go and learn teaching, go and do nursing. Are they bad courses? They are not. But the truth is that they should also be able to say that there are opportunities for everybody. So please know that community service is compulsory and it is important. Compulsory and important. I can say that again. So if you want your shirt, you can you can pre-order for it when you get the information. The shirt can also be a motivation for you. Just hang the shirt every time you see I'm a woman in tech. Remember that even though you are still an apprentice in tech, for some people you're probably still an apprentice in tech, but you are still a woman in tech, and it should be a vision for you that in the next 6 months, when I'm wearing this shirt legit, I mean that I am wearing the shirt legit. Okay, so again, the shirt details will be communicated to you on how to pre-order it. Remember, it's pre-order. Logistics is completely on you. The cost of the shirt will be communicated to you in the communication. You understand? The cost is going to be communicated to you. You understand? But make up your mind. If you choose to pre-order, and this is not compulsory, I should say this is not compulsory. If you don't want to, fine. But it would be nice if you are coming for the physical event in Lagos and you're on your shirt. You know how it will feel. Just think about it. The choice is yours to make. The conversation on the community service will be communicated to everybody very soon. But right now, what is very important is getting in the program. So, Tony, I believe that I've spoken about the orientation. Orientation is supposed to start in October. The dates will be communicated to everybody, and the shirt is not compulsory.
Hi, Blessing.
Cool. Hi, everyone.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm there and I'm done.
I need to be sure. Oh, okay.
Okay. Tony, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Isman. So I hope that we are able to understand everything that has been discussed, right? So yes, we're excited. And congratulations to those in Lagos. There's a physical component to your orientation. Well, you probably don't know, but orientations are usually strictly virtual, right? We usually have our orientations virtually, but it's great that this year we're considering having a physical meetup for those that are in Lagos. So you get, now this is an information session on strictly on MOU, but we're just chipping in a couple of this information to just have our mind prepared. So do hold on. You would get all the details, of the orientation, the shirt buying, and every other thing. You get the communication that details each and every one of these things. So first things first, let's ensure that your admission is now secured. Remember, your admission is still the conditional admission. For some strange reasons, my video is actually turned on, but I have no idea why it's not showing blank, but I'll try to figure it out. But we'll be moving straight ahead into the question and answer session right now. So we want to be able to take your questions and answers. Usman will be helping us to moderate this session so that we are able to take as many questions as possible. So, hi Usman, please let's group the question and ensure that we're not repeating questions. We just take questions that are pretty much unique and that have not been captured in our conversation. So, Usman, over to you. Let me try to rejoin us and hopefully my screen is back on. Usman, can you hear me?
Yeah. So just pardon me, I would not be putting on my video. So I'm going to start with the folks that sent their question into the Slido. That's from the YouTube. Just to sort of like give them. I know a lot of us have sent our questions on Zoom. So let's start with the YouTube folks. So if you want to send a question on YouTube, we've shared the link and we've also pinned this link as well. So somebody's asking what platform. So a blessing. I mean, maybe we just want to answer this question directly so that we just move on very quickly. What platforms are our classes going to be held? Like, where are we having our classes?
Okay, so we use Teams for our classes. So platform is going to be on Teams. That's why Tony had mentioned that you would get a personalized email address. For people who sign this thing, you will get a personalized email address. That personalized email address will help you to be able to access Teams and access every other thing, notes, materials that will be posted. So to be on Teams.
Okay, how many hours a day are we going to be learning? I know you mentioned 10, so maybe in hours.
I think that I've mentioned this multiple times. Class is between 10 a.m. West African time to 2 p.m. West African time, Monday to Friday. There could be an exception of weekend, but we will not be the one to enforce weekend classes. It's totally dependent on you. Quick thing that we didn't mention is that when you get on the program, you'll be paired in teams. When you are paired in teams, you'll be paired in reading teams, or what do we call it? More like a group where you can learn together, review classes that has been taught, review assignments that have been taught. So you'll be paired in teams and you're supposed to also meet to discuss your daily classes. So you and your team members can choose to add weekend to your class. You can choose to contact your facilitator in the case where a class was not understood. So it is you that will determine. But for us, study groups, thank you, study groups. But in the case where, just to know, class is 4 hours, you can choose to exceed the 4 hours. So class is 4 hours, basically, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. Usman.
Okay, great. I have a lot of questions around the internship. Like, there are lots of questions. So I just want to take the most important one. Somebody is asking, am I bound to taking internship from Tech for Dev? Like, must I take internship from Tech for Dev? Is it like a bond that I cannot leave?
So let me say this first of all, internship is not compulsory, but we always advise internship so that you can learn and advance your knowledge. So whether we place you on internship or you find an internship, it's always good for you. Are you born to Tech for Dev's internship? No. In the case where you find an internship, you can go. In fact, in some case, a fellow has reached out to say, oh, I got an internship in this organization and this organization is still recruiting. Can I make open the offer to my other colleagues? That's an option. Internship is not compulsory, but in the case where you had specified interest, to participate in internship, then you get it, then you have to commit to it. But if something pops up, you can always reach out to us. Internship is not compulsory. Therefore, there is also not liable to placing you on internship. I think I've said it before, that the skill set we give you is you are able to, if you are not even able to get internship, you're able to get gigs and jobs that will help you to be able to increase your knowledge. So you cannot come and hold me to say, oh, I've gone through the training, you did not place me on jobs. That's why we are saying it from now. Start looking for opportunities for yourself. Sometimes it's always because you want plenty money as well. It's not about the money, it's about the skill set. When you have the right skill set, you're able to get the right money at the end of it, you understand? So yeah, internship is not compulsory. We'll place you on internship when available or if available, because we still will always place people on internships. but it's not compulsory. It's also based on availability. We cannot determine the kind of internship, whether it is physical, whether it is virtual, whether it's hybrid. It's depending on the partner and the role that is open. We also cannot determine the country, but we try as much as possible to get internship across 22 African countries. I've tried to answer multiple questions through this question, Usman.
Yes. Actually, like most of the questions people are asking around the so I think I should move on to like questions around the MOU. So somebody is asking, are we going to see our class schedule before we sign the MOU? Like maybe the person needs to see the class schedule and see, oh, this class schedule does not work for me, so I'm not signing the MOU. Is this possible?
I'm not sure I understand what class schedule means, but what I can say is that the class is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I don't know what else is bigger than that class schedule. Make up, as in, have that back of your mind that class is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. That's schedule enough. If it's now timetable, that one, I mean, because timetable, every week there's a new activity to be learned. But if you are not even available, you are not available for it. So class is the best schedule you can know right now. Is class is Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. You can make your decision based on that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I see maybe the person's trying to ask maybe, oh, if I'm doing software development, are we going to do HTML today, JavaScript tomorrow, all of those things. So you can't have access to that very deep information if you don't sign the MOU. And somebody's asking again, can I defer my admission?
Can you defer your admission? Send an email, we'll tell you what is the possibility of it. It could be a no. Actually, it's a no. But if your reason is valid, there could be an option for it. But send an email. And there's no other person should send an, because now everybody's going to send an email to say, I want to defer admission. Let's be guided right now. The admission is for class of 2024. But if you come with your strong point and they see the people who are on the selection committee review your need, they can see if it's something that maybe, just maybe, but send an email. Just maybe. Otonyi, do you have a response to it?
Yeah, you're right. So you do have to send an email, but your points have to be valid enough. And even if you defer, it doesn't mean that you're just going to walk into the class of 2025. You might still have to go through some, not all, some of the screening process that are outlined, maybe an interview and then an area assessment. So we might pardon you for the first level, multiple essays and all of that, but you will still have to go through some of the stages that you went through in this current class. And I know some people want to defer admission maybe because they didn't get data science or product management. That's not a strong point. So please don't even write an email to that effect, because we believe if you're deferring to next year because you didn't get your learning track, it means that you have 1 year to have been able to find another way to build yourself in that career track. So you could not have just sat idle for 1 year and try to come back the next year to get admission into that data science. Then you need to rethink your passion if you're really passionate about it in the first place. So yeah, please, you can send an email if you have very good, valid reasons, right? We would respond. If you don't get a response, that means your reasons were not valid enough. So we wouldn't even proceed to giving you feedback. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Somebody, they're asking, we have a couple of questions. Can a family member be a guarantor? Maybe husband, maybe you have a child that is above 21. I mean, family member extended, can they be your guarantor?
Let the person that is signing your form for you, he has reached enough to be able to provide the $3,000 when you default. That's the best I can say. Anybody can choose to sign your MOU for you. You understand? But let the person that is signing the MOU, both of you together, the moment you default, when they shake two of you together, you have $3,000 to offer. That's what I can say. Your husband can sign. If your husband is the Tesla, what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, or is Elon Musk, why not if not? You understand? So you want to say something?
Yes, and I just want to add, Blessing mentioned a very key important statement when she was talking about guarantor. Ensure that your guarantor can keep you accountable. Beyond them being able to pay your fee, it's important that they are able to, be your accountability partner, tell you can't slack on this thing, you're committed to this thing, be that motivation that you need when you want to give up. Because trust me, it's hectic enough that you think about giving up, but you need support system. So while we are working to put support systems in-house, you also need external support systems. So ensure that you are relying on somebody that will not just give up on you, sign and don't check up on you. Ensure that it's somebody that's passionate about your growth. So that will keep you in check. And also, like Blessing had mentioned, you shouldn't be a minor. You shouldn't be asking somebody that is less than 21, to sign for you. It's not even acceptable. So ensure that you get somebody that you can be accountable to help. It's not just because we want to collect our money, but it's also because we are interested in your growth and career advancement. So look through it and ensure that the person is willing enough to go the extra mile to keep you in check. So it's very, very important. Usman, over to you.
Okay. So it was said that there was something in the application about getting a laptop on loan for people who don't have a PC, but nothing has been said concerning that so far. What's the update on that?
Okay, so I think I can respond to that. While the application process was going on, there was also a conversation about us maybe partnering and getting people who are able to give laptops on loan. And as we speak, that conversation has not been concluded. So there is no laptop available right now. We are only considering it as an option in that case. But I'm sure that there are a lot of platforms right now and services that offer people to be able to access a device and pay later. Maybe you want to explore that as an option. But Tech for Dev as an organization, that conversation is still in the works. In the future, if we're able to complete that, great. But right now, you may need to consider, are there other options for me to be able to access a device? You understand? Can I borrow somebody's device while on this program and the likes? Yeah, so I believe that responds to your question. If we're able to finalize on that, of which if the partnership will come back to us to say that has been sorted out, we'll respond to you. But as of now, and I'm not sure in the next 1 month because of the modalities and processes that is also involved. So you may want to find your alternatives. Usman.
Okay. Someone is asking that if they decide to decline the admission because of their change in learning track, does it affect their application for any other Tech for Dev program?
No, it does not affect anything. No. It's just that if you want to apply for the Women Techsters Fellowship, you have to wait till next year, April, to apply again. You can choose to apply for the boot camp. For the boot camp is 3 weeks, and you can't really compare the benefits of the boot camp versus that of the Women Techsters Fellowship, basically, but it doesn't affect it. It's your choice. Usman.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. So I have 2 questions. I don't know. They are funny questions, but I just feel like we should answer it because some people are asking. So this $3K, how will Tech for Dev get it from the defaulters? And that person is asking, what if we don't have the defaulter fee? How will you collect it? So I don't know. I just thought to ask and maybe thought.
So you are ready, Usman? Maybe
planning to default.
Please share the name of the questionnaire to me. You're already planning to default.
So the good thing is the person, one of them was anonymous. And maybe we should just leave the other person anonymous as well.
Wow, you're already planning on defaulting.
To be honest, you might as well just not sign the MOU rather than thinking this way, right? Just it's not a do or die affair. Don't sign the MOU because we will definitely collect it. We might not collect it at once.
Why are you saying
an
you will not collect it at once? Why are you not collecting it?
And just in case
anybody that wants to default will already be planning to. See, let me explain this to you. So in case you're also planning to use a pseudo name as your guarantor, just know that you should be ready to play your game very well. Because guarantors will be verified, they will be called. And in case you want to give your other number as your name, don't worry. I can tell you that we've been long in this game. See, but truth should be told, and in all honesty, don't plan to default. Just see this as an option. If you feel like you're not able to start the program, don't start. Don't reduce the opportunity. We declined some people's application, so don't reduce some other person's opportunity if you know you're not going to start. Erase the mind of what if you think I will not catch you. The people that prepared this MOU, you think they came to joke. Just know that they did not come to joke. Do you understand? So somebody says, but you guys would have told us this before we went through the process. I'm trying to understand what exactly you want us to have told you. I'm choosing my word very carefully now. Like, I'm trying to understand what you expect us to have told you. Is it the $3,000 part that we should have told you? Or is it 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. part that we should have told you? Because I also believe that the internet is our very best friend. And we can find everything we want to find on the internet. Ladies, This is my good face. Face it. This is my good face. And this is my other face too. Very nice and smiley. Let's not drag ourselves of 3,000. You understand? Dollars to be very precise. Thank you.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. So I'm mentioning them together. People are asking around, okay, what if I join the class 1 hour late? What exactly do we consider as defaulting? What if I'm not able to join a class on a particular day? I know you've mentioned about communication, emailing us, and all of that. So maybe you want to write it and just all of those questions around defaulting, 1 hour late, is the physical session mandatory? All of those questions.
I will start and I'll allow Tony to conclude it. First off, from the orientation is compulsory. So when we get the date for the orientation and you see the information, please don't plan to say, I will not come on this day, I'll come on this day. Erase that this thing. Orientation is compulsory. Now moving on to your class. Class is for 6 months. We started off by saying that Tech for Dev actually we are human beings and we totally understand. I gave examples of PMS. You wake up and your period decides to period on that particular day. And you know how that feels, right? What is very important is communication. Communication is key on this journey. You will have class reps. They're not leaving you on this journey alone. You will have class reps. You have assistant class rep. You will have a overall class rep for your learning track. You will have a general class rep for the entire program. You will have your facilitators. Just make sure that you are communicating. You have study group members. Just make sure that you are communicating. So that in the day when you are not able to come to class, somebody is aware. Your facilitator is aware that this is the reason why this person is not in class. Somebody in your study group or your class rep is aware that this is the reason why this person is not in class. In the case where you now choose not to communicate this information, you have defaulted, because every month you will be seeing your stand. You will know your see. If we are going to collect the $3,000 from you, you yourself, you know that I did this thing. Like, you will know that you did it. So the truth is, just make sure that you are sending messages, you are giving feedback, you are reaching out to us that this is the challenges I'm facing, this is why I may not be able to progress. In the case where you are going to miss a class, don't miss a class. If you are going to miss a class, make sure that you have told your facilitator a day before. And in the case where it's an emergency, leave a message to somebody. And it's not every day you'll be having emergency, because that's the problem. Some people always have emergency. Every day of the program, you have emergency, because you're using us to do other things. And we don't want you to use us to do other things. Women Techsters program is a priority as well. So please, really limit your emergency, because your emergency will not count. If you don't come to class, attendance will be 0. And even if you listen to the recording, attendance for that day is already 0. But it would be nice for you that even though your attendance is 0, your facilitator or somebody is aware that this is the reason why you did not show up. And so when judgment is happening, like judgment is happening currently in Nigeria, you understand that somebody is busy, somebody is there to speak on your behalf, say, this is it, don't kill the person, that kind of thing. I'm being as frank as possible here, and I'm trying as much as possible to also allow everybody to be happy with me, so that when we start, we would know what we are doing. Do you understand? So please, default can be anything. They give you assignments, you don't do your assignments. Graduation is almost like this, because everything is going to add. There's going to be cumulative of your attendance, cumulative of your assignments, cumulative of your group projects, cumulative of your hackathons, cumulative of everything that you're going to be doing together. So you will know from the very beginning, when you've already defaulted 2 assignments, 3 assignments, you will know already that the way you are going, the way you are going. Or you now say, I want to meet soft skills training. Maybe it's soft skills. What do you want to skill me about? Don't worry. Everything. See, every program. See, we're intentional at Tech for Dev. So everything that we are doing is intentional. We do it with intentionality. So please ensure that you are intentional as well, as much as we're intentional with you. As much as we are accountable with you, I want you to hold us accountable. Be accountable with us too as well. Don't plan to default. If you are not going to be in class for a reason, mention it. If you feel like, I'm pregnant, and I totally understand how that feels, reach out to us. If you feel like, my class, I don't like my class. Like some student last year came to say, I don't like the class. The facilitator used to speak too fast. I don't understand anything. I bring you good news. The 2 best graduating students came from the same class that they said they did not like. The truth is, our facilitators are facilitators across board. Some people are from Ghana. Some people are from Kenya. Some people are from Egypt. Some people are from Ethiopia. They are from different walks of life. And you cannot expect people to speak the way you speak. But if you calm down and you stay in the class, you begin to understand the class and understand the teachers. Another thing people used to do is that you like to go and compare. You go and say, teacher A has taught this one, teacher B have not taught it. But you've forgotten that the people in the different classes are at different level. Even though there is a curriculum for each classes and there is a there's a path that each class has to follow. The teacher is also very understandable to know that my students are not ready to move on this space. Do you understand? Classes will be recorded. You can go back to your class to listen, but please don't plan to say because classes is recorded, I will not show up in class. I can see my $3,000 in front already. Usman, over to you.
Yeah, so we have plenty questions that around. You said the communication was that this is a 1 year experiential learning. 6 months of internship and 6 months of learning. But I mean, maybe there are a lot of people on the call are not getting you right, because we said, some of them might not get internship. So it means this program is for 6 months. Also, some people have said, if I have done 6 months, I think I'm not bound to pay any $3,000 again. That's off me. I can start to do my 6 months and just move on. So can we try to clarify the 1 year program and how it is very essential and all of that? Yeah.
So when the Women Techsters Fellowship was being conceptualized and planned, it was planned that it would be 6 months of technical and soft skills training and 6 months of internship. Now, the internship doesn't have to be tech for the related internship, but we believe that 6 months of internship will make you grounded in whatever learning track you pick. Do you understand? That's why we say 1 year. So within the 6 months, within the 1 year, you go through the technical training and the soft skills training that Tech for Dev will offer you. And we also believe that with the skill set that we're giving you, it is possible that you are able to land an internship role for 6 months. Sometimes it can even be 3 months, but 3 months is worth the while as well. But we just feel like your experience should be within 1 year, your experience should be awesome rather. So that by the time the next class is starting, or by the time you are moving ahead, you can tell people that, I went through a 1 year program, even though it is 6 months of training, you also had 6 months of internship. The challenge is that most of the time we always see internship as maybe a money-making platform, or maybe we see internship as a platform to be able to just go and work. The internship is a learning platform as well. You are learning on life projects. You are working with team members. You are building your interpersonal skill. You are building your personal development skills, your communication skills as well. So it's a training. Even if you are being paid, you are giving stipend for it. It's still a training. Hence why we say 1 year. Of course, we are not penalizing you if you don't go on 6 months internship. Please don't get it twisted. What we are saying is that if you default within the 6 months of the training, you will be penalized. In the case where there's an internship opening for you, maybe based off our partnership and internship placement team, they found something for you, you agreed to start, then you now defaulted at the end of the day. Like you agreed to start, but you now defaulted at the end of the day. Then you need to know that you will pay as well, because you shouldn't have agreed to start the internship if you know that you didn't have the energy, the time to be able to do the internship. Internship is not compulsory, but while it is not compulsory, it is good for you and your skill set. Did you get that? Do you want to say something?
Yes, I do want to add. So, aside internship, there's also a mentorship component of the mental class fellowship program that spans for 6 months also. So yes, irrespective of whether you are placed by Tech for Dev or you found an internship by yourself, there's a component that allows you to be paired with a mentor. So that also spans for 6 months. So when you think about all these things, it adds to the fact that the fellowship program is tagged as a 1 year program, because after 6 months, we don't just release you. We put you in a group and we keep sharing internship opportunities with you, try to secure space within that 6 months, pair you with mentors within that 6 months. So that's why it's a 1 year long fellowship training program. So I hope that answers the person's question.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
just mention. Yeah, Anthony, just to clarify, the 6 months for that mentorship is still within that 6 months.
Yes.
Next 6 months, right?
Yes, it
Yes.
is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
starts to
Yeah.
count. The way it works, you can be placed in between that 6 months, and then it starts to count across boxes when your mentorship ends, right? So yeah, so within that 6 months, you get to be paired with a mentor. Now, pairing for mentorship has to do with the fact that you have something going on with your life, right? You have something that you're currently working on that you need mentorship supervision on. So, anyways, this is an info session for MAU and learning track change update. So let's keep these detailed conversations with the people that will be proceeding with us to the next level. I hope that
Yeah.
it gives clarity
Yeah. So
to the person asking.
okay. Yes. So Okay, great. I'm not sure we have so many questions
Is it just me or
around
Usman's line is breaking? Hi, Blessing. Can you hear Usman
the
clearly?
Man's mic is breaking.
MOU anymore. We've answered practically everything.
Man, your
Usman,
mic
we
is
can't seem to
breaking.
hear you.
No.
Your mic is breaking really, really bad.
I mean,
I'm not sure that you can
okay.
hear us either. So let's do this. Let's try
So, but
to mute
somebody
Usman. Okay,
asking,
I'll just send a direct
I've
message to Usman.
So while we are
Okay,
getting
all
to,
right.
like
sorry.
come across around the community service, asking what is the community service, and is it that we're just going to choose the day for ourselves? Are we are we going to? Can you hear me, please?
We've lost you a long time ago, Usman. Okay, so I think Usman is going to join back. While Usman is going to join back, I thought I should quickly talk about the internship again because I can see people saying, "Me, I want internship. Oh, I want internship." Who does not want internship? Internship is good, but from the get-go, let's get this straight. Tech for them is not responsible for placing you on internship. Tech for them will not be held liable if you don't get an internship. So one of the things I would suggest is while you start your program now, start looking out for organizations that can take you, like that can offer internship opportunities to you. Start looking for it. Internship is great, trust me, whether remote, physical, hybrid, or whatever. It's very great. Start looking out for opportunities for yourself. When we get within the community, we share with you, obviously. In fact, when we have opportunities, we always place you in the first priority. We'll place you as first priority, but we are not responsible and will not be held responsible for internship. Somebody was asking a question related to community service. I think that we can honestly skip the community service question right now because it is more detailed than what it is. But trust me, it's going to be as flexible as possible when you get the information on the community service. One thing that will be helpful for you is go to our Tech for Dev social media handle, especially on Instagram or LinkedIn, and type Tech Girls Advocacy Drive. At least I can give you that information. Tag Tech Girls Advocacy. Type Tech Girls Advocacy Drive and search for it. You would see some of the community activities that was done by some of the fellows last year, fellows that have become alumni from last year. So please go through it. I don't think we should talk about community service right now. Yeah, that's all. Usman.
Hi, yeah, sorry. My network was glitching earlier. So I saw a very interesting question here. Somebody asked, but of course, I think with an anonymous, asked anonymously that what do we consider oversharing? That since we talked about them sharing on social media like LinkedIn, and what are we supposed to share? So, and the person said, I mean, can I tell that the scholarship is worth $30,000? Like, what is considered oversharing of information about Tech for Dev?
Okay, so
Okay, so
I hear myself. All right. So I would say that what is not considered oversharing first is sharing information that you got into the Women Techsters program, how you were selected out of the numerous people that have applied, how you scaled through. That is not considered oversharing. What we consider oversharing is sharing your MOU on social media, because I don't know why you are sharing the MOU. It's supposed to be personal. Well, it's good if you feel like share your MOU will be accountable, so that on the day of judgment you can go and bring it back from the same social media that you had posted to say, but you were the one that posted it too. I'm sure you read in what you posted as well. So that's one of the things I would consider as oversharing. The MOU is pertinent to you, it's personal to you, and I don't see why you need to start sharing it. Nobody's asking you to pay any money. Please let me say it again. Nobody's asking you to pay any money except you default. Like, nobody's asking you. The moment there are people that have gone to our programs and they did not pay, nobody's asking you to pay any money unless you default. And the reason why paying is because you just deprive another person of a scholarship worth $3,000 and somebody has to pay for it. So you have to pay for it. I hope you understand. The class is going to be physical. No, sorry, the class is not physical. The class is virtual. People should not enter my mouth. Class is virtual. Class is weekday, not weekend. The class is virtual, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. It is weekday and it is virtual. So if you feel like you don't have time, then there's nothing you can do. Some people say they want a physical class. The class is currently not physical, it's virtual, so that we can accommodate the people who are across 22 African countries. So please make provisions for power, make provisions for your internet, and make provisions for your device. Yeah, basically. Designing. Okay, I think so. Tony is answering some of the questions as well. Usman.
Yeah. I can see somebody's asking if the signing of the MOU is a physical thing. No, it's a virtual. Of course, you sign and you send to us, so we do not really have to gather in a particular place and sign the MOU. Yeah. So also I just thought to share as well. I don't know what the person has been specific about sharing the $3,000. However, when you're sharing any information, if you feel like you want to share the information, it's best to share correct information. The fact that when you default, you pay a particular amount of money is not something we are, how would I put it? It's not something we don't, we're not scared about it. I mean, but it's just when you are getting a job and you are getting to sign a particular MOU. Of course, these are legal documents that shouldn't be on social media. They are legal documents, and nobody really cares about why you are sharing your legal documents online. It's for you and it's for the persons here. Except you need legal counsel, of course. You need to share with your lawyer. That's perfectly fine. So just thought to mention that. Okay, yes, you can go ahead, please.
I see somebody posted something a question, maybe not a question, or a question. The person says, as a fellowship program, it's expected that we will be paid. Instead for them paying you, just want to know. I just also want to know. I just want you to know as well that Tech for them is not paying you. Somebody has already given you a scholarship worth $3,000. Hello, ma. Tech for them is not going to pay you. They are not going to pay us unless you default as well. Somebody has already covered for the cost. So please note, you are responsible for catering for your data, your computer that you will use, and also get power to participate in the program. If you feel like, oh, I do not now have the capacity to do it, that's fine. You can choose to drop it, but Tech for Them is not paying. As much as they are supposed to pay us, we are not collecting money from it. It's free. Scholarship has entered, institution free, scholarship has entered. So don't, Usman, please ask your next question.
Okay, so I can see that most of the questions are just around everything that we have spoken about. What if I miss a session for 1 minute, 2 minutes? I mean, we understand. We have said it. Communicate if you need to miss a session. Communicate if you need to do something very important and why you're not joining the class. Of course, what's just very important is that you don't now make it become an habit, just as Blessing have said, because the purpose of us having facilitators in your class, we can as well just give you learning materials as how most organizations would do, give you learning materials and ask you to go learn. No, we are not doing that. We are actually engaging some set of people to be in class with you for that period of time. So if you continually have this not to be in class every day, then this class is not for you. So I think we also want to put that into consideration when you are signing our MOU. Are you sure you're able to commit this amount of time? And I know we have it in our application, the early stage of the application, if you're able to commit this amount of time into the class. So you getting in now is not something you want to gamble, but you have the last stage, the MOU signing, to put that into consideration as well. With the MOU we sent immediately after this video. You mentioned that we'll be sending it tomorrow. For those who would accept it, you accept, then you get your MOU. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know what this person is asking. Can you participate in this program and do NYC in Nigeria? I'm not sure.
Yes, I think I understand the question the person is asking. Like maybe for people who will be going for, maybe they will have call-up letters by November, and you are asking if the program starts in October, will I be able to do it, seeing that will most likely be in NYC camp for 3 weeks. So one of the things I've said is that we are human beings and we understand. If the fellowship is very important to you, we will not now deprive you of your compulsory NYSC, right? So within the 3 weeks that you will be in camp, something that we advise is please go send an email email. Once, if you've accepted, first of all, you need to accept the fellowship, the scholarship, and then if you signed your MOU and you are placed in class, send an email when it is few days to when you are going to camp, or few weeks before you go to camp. Send an email to notify us that you are going to NYSC camp. While you are in NYSC camp, find as much as possible, find time to be able to go through. You know what, when you send your email, you'll be advised accordingly on what needs to be done. But Tech for Dev has a way to help you bridge that gap. That's the best I can say here. Usman.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see we have answered most of the questions. The rest of the questions are just, little from some of the things you have answered. And I think it'd just be nice to wrap this up before 4 p.m. West African time. So Justin, I don't know, maybe Blessing or Tony, we just want to, the next steps. What is the next step? Just so that everybody now understands the next step, because there's a lot of information that has been passed since. Oh, somebody's asking, what does default mean? We've answered this. The recording is going to be on our on YouTube, and then with the link you joined with, and we'll also share with you tomorrow. So please, what are the next steps, and so that we can just move on and end today's session.
Sorry, Usman. So before Tony takes the next step, I think that somebody else is just trying to give context to the NYSC person, and maybe I should also try to understand the question from another perspective. If you are thinking because fellowship is 1 year, you want to use Women Techsters as your NYSC 1 year, don't think it too. Like, kill that thought, die the matter. I'm not sure of what it is, but I just thought about this other perspective to it too. That, since fellowship is 1 year, one of the things we will suggest to you is that within your 1 year, maybe you want to find an organization that will give you time to be able to go through the fellowship program, or maybe you want to work in an organization that will give you time to go through the fellowship program. But Tech for Dev cannot be your 1 year NYSC. Like, nobody's going to give you PPA, nobody's going to give you letter, nobody's going to give you anything. You are on your own, or for people that don't understand the acronym OIO. So please, I just thought about it again. In case this is your question, you go for, if it's to go to NYSC, National Service Camp will give you, you can. But if it's now to say, can you just give me PPA so that, give me letter so that they will not transfer me, nobody's going to give you that too. We wish you the very best as you make plans to redeploy, or to stay where you are posted. We wish you all the very best, but we can't do more than that. Thank you. Usman.
Yeah, of course. And just to mention, this is not a physical program. This is a virtual program. So regardless of where you are being posted, I mean, you have the opportunity to learn. So that's probably not an excuse. The only excuse you can say you are having now is my employer are going to allow me. So that's left to you. We are not, we have people from over 22 African countries. Every single person on this call have a reason or the other that they want us to attend to. And of course, we might not be able to do that. In other countries, they might have some other programs they're also doing. How do we now mitigate that and, reach out? So there's a lot. So,
yeah.
No, so we are not.
Sorry, Usman, I also
yeah.
want to quickly speak about the orientation, because I know that some people have questions. I remember I said that we will have a component of the orientation to be physical. Let me say the clause I did not say. The clause I did not say is that while it's going to be in Lagos, Nigeria, it's going to be very limited. So it means that it's also going to be on a first come, first serve basis. It is not compulsory you attend physical orientation, but if you attend physical orientation, it may be a good time for you to be able to meet with some of your classmates that you'll be starting the session with, and also meet with some of the instructors probably around that you'll be starting your session with. But it is not compulsory, and it is strictly on a first come, first serve basis. You understand? So, and some of these will also consider is, of course, I said that the shirt is not compulsory, you understand? But if you are coming for the physical event, it's also be nice that you have a shirt. It is not compulsory. You can still come for the physical event without paying for a shirt. But we'll give you a RSVP. We'll send out an RSVP for people who are coming. Please, if you are not coming, that's where the issue will be. That you know that you will not have time. It's most likely, it's not going to be on a weekend. So let me say it ahead of time. The orientation day is not going to be on a weekend, because remember that your classes are Monday to Friday. So we need to have everything be within Monday to Friday. So please, it's not going to be on a weekend. It's going to be on a weekday. But while it's on a weekday, if you know you will not be available, don't fill the form, so that we will not hold you accountable. Don't feel it. Once you see it, and you can always make time for it. It's just a one-day event. We'll communicate the location and the time. And even if plans change to have it virtual, we'll let you know as well. But we just thought we should let you know ahead of time. Usman, over to you.
Okay, somebody's asking how can they reach us? I don't know what they want to talk about. But can you, Tony, so when you're giving your wrap up, just share the email that people can reach us for now. At least they're not in the class. So I just think this is also a very important time to also mention that for everybody, as much as we will be filling the MOU and we'll be getting into class. Immediately we get into the class and we now have our Women Techsters email. It means we are officially ambassadors of Tech for Dev. And it is extremely important that whatever we do, we ensure that we carry that weight as a Tech for Dev with us, and we also ensure that we don't come on social media. If you need your questions to be answered, please. You now have the right you now have a way to channel your questions, maybe by email, maybe by reaching out to your class rep, maybe by reaching out to your facilitator. But coming on social media we have tons of DMs that we receive every day. And if the fellowship program is a daily program, I'm sure your questions might be something that is very urgent. If you ask us questions on Instagram, it might take us probably 1 or 2 days to reply, and then probably you would have. So your inquiries and all of those things are not supposed to be on social media. They are supposed to be via the official communication channel that will be communicated to you. So yes, Tony, please let's just wrap this up, and we'll meet in the next meeting.
All right. Thank you so much, Usman. Thank you so much, Blessing. And to everyone who has stayed thus far, it's been 2 hours plus. So let's just get right into the next steps, right? Like we had mentioned earlier, number one, we'll be sending an email recap tomorrow morning, right? We're going to get an email recap that details everything that has been discussed here. Well, we can't capture everything that was discussed, but that email recap will also attach the link to the record. You can go through the recording just to, get understand what has been discussed, to clarify any doubts you might have. We would also once again attach the MOU highlights, right? We're going to highlight the major contents of the MOU, what it is that you're getting into. Now, listen attentively. We're not sharing the MOU with you tomorrow. This is because we already know that a couple of you will probably want to not continue at this point. So there's no point in sending the MOU to each and every one of you on this call. So we'll share the MOU with the people that fill the form tomorrow. So attached to your email tomorrow, there'll be a form that asks you if you are consenting to continue with the program, if you want to sign the MOU. So please fill the form if you are interested in the program. So we'll attach that form to your email tomorrow, and then you can let us know if you want to continue. So you fill the form tomorrow, and then we'll give a couple of days for you to think it through, because we understand that it's a very important decision and we're not rushing you to commit to anything. So we'll give a couple of days, 3 to 5 days, so that you can think it through, discuss with your family, look for your guarantor, speak to your guarantor, tell your guarantor what they're getting into, and maybe your guarantor also wants to ask you a couple of questions to gauge your commitment level. Let me at this point say that a lot of things you guys said during the interview, this is the time that you get to test it. I know that we had asked your program commitment, and a lot of you had said, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Well, this is the time that you start making it work, right? So let's ensure that we think it through. It's okay to back out at this point. Really, it's very, very much okay, because we understand that it takes a lot of commitment, it takes a lot of persistence and effort. So if you think that you do not have that level of resilience yet, please, it's okay. Do not feel the form. But if you're ready to take your career to the next level, you're ready to give it your all and make a couple of sacrifices which are needed, please ensure that you fill the form. And we promise that we're going to be a great support system for you. Like Blessing has said, we have check-in meetings bi-weekly. You can express your concerns. Oh, I'm getting tired. You have study groups, you have affinity groups that are going to keep you in check. So there are a lot of things that are in check to help you go through. So if that's the case, we hope to see you at the other end. So when you get your email tomorrow, fill it in, tell us that you're interested, right? And we'll collate that data for everybody that are interested in moving in the next step, and then we'll share the MOU with those sets of people. So only those sets of people will get the MOU, and then you can proceed to sign and have your guarantor sign. Now, the mode of communication to us is through the admissions email. There's one email that has always been sending you emails, right? And a lot of people would agree with me that the email is responsive. in the sense that anytime you send an email, you get a response if it's something that we should respond to. So use the admissions at womentextiles.org to ask your questions. The email has been the email sending you. The email sent you your provisional scholarship. The email sent you your next level assessment. The email sent you a couple of emails, so you have it in your email box. Just look through your email, the emails that you have been using to communicate with you. It's not a no reply email. It's an email that you can respond to, because once again, we are not robots, we are humans and we listen. So please use that email to communicate back to us in the case where you need to say something. And remember, don't send an email to say that, oh, I attest, I want to sign the MOU. No, you attest by completing the form that is attached to your email tomorrow, right? So wait for your email tomorrow, click on that, fill in the form, submit it. For those that want to change learning track into the free learning track that I had mentioned earlier, you will also get a form link attached to it. Now, note, not everybody is going to get the learning track email. It's only those specific set of people I had mentioned earlier, those that are in blockchain, 3D, and mobile app by change of learning track. So you can get to change into any of those two learning tracks. You get that email also tomorrow, and then we'll take it up from there to share your Women Texas email, and then you can submit your signed MOU. We then go ahead to verify your guarantors, and then we'll discuss the orientation plan, and then classes will start. Don't worry, it might be too much of an information for you to take note of right now, but our emails are going to contain all these instructions and step-by-step process. So thank you once again, everyone. It's time to take pictures. Yeah. So we're going to be promoting a couple of people to the panelist section. So if you're interested, please raise your hand. And if you're interested, it means that you're most likely in a good place, in a conducive place to turn on your camera. So raise your hand so that we can take pictures with you. It would be great to put some faces to the new set of fellows that will be, welcoming to the panel section. Usman, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, so we'll be promoting some of us to panelists.
Thank you.
Just raise up your hand if you would like to.
Sorry, so while we are trying to promote, I quickly need to address something. I think that I had seen. Please, can everybody hear me? Can
Yes,
you?
we can. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I saw a question about somebody saying I'm not available. Can somebody attend the class on my behalf? I honestly cannot understand the question, but I'll try as much as possible to do like I did not see the question. Please, if you're not available, don't accept the scholarship. There's no need of. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think of the rationale behind why you not be available and why another person should be attending the class. So the person that attend the class will come and do the brief for you, or what exactly is the concern. If you are not available, you are not available. If you have a strong point, you can. If you have a strong point, you can. What's the word? Send us a message. Let us know what it is that how we can help you. But please don't do that. Don't. If you are not available, you are not available. There's no afternoon class, there's no evening class. The class is as flexible as 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You understand? If you feel like this opportunity is not worth it for you at this time, I feel like you can take up other opportunities. If you ask me, I feel like you can take up other opportunities if they are not available. You understand? So please don't do. I can already see some comments that I feel like they sound a little bit entitled, and I'm going to be very honest with you right now. They sound a little bit entitled. You're already acting like you're doing us a favor. I know Tony will not say that to you, but me, I'm going to say that to you. You can either like me or choose not to like me. And I don't even want to be on the side of like right now. I want to be on the side of greatness. I want to be on the side of when I'm catching the next flight to the US, I'm seeing you on first class. We are both sitting down together on first class, and you're like, blessing, I'm very glad that I met you. That's the side I want to be on right now. So please don't sound entitled. If you feel like Tech for Deaf program is not worth it for you, don't take it. Don't make us, we are not bending a rule. So please don't do what we do now. Let's take pictures so that I will not do too much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blessing. So please through every information that has been said today, read the MOU highlights, ensure that you can commit to right. People have done it before. You are not an exception, and they were able to scale through and participate fully in the program. If you need counsel, speak to people, speak to your accountability partners, probably your mentors, people people that have, advised you to go into tech and tell them, okay, this is it as intense as it is, they'll give you clarity and they'll give you the motivation that you need. So hope to see you at the other side. I can see videos are turned on already. Usman, are we good to go? Hi Adiola, good to see you. Hi Bonavita. Hi Grace. Hi Chizaram. Might not need to call all of your names, but it's great to put a face to the name. Hi
Yeah, I'm still
Oluwaseun. Hi
trying to promote
Yetunde.
to and
Hi Christiana. Usman, so let us know if
I'm still
we're
promoting. I'm
good
still
to go, right? So please turn on your videos, everyone that has. Usman, I'm not sure we have the time to promote everybody. So let's take
promoting.
pictures with a couple of people that we have. I think we should work. We would have a lot of time to take more pictures, trust me. So yes. So yeah, we'll share the meeting recording for those asking. Don't worry, you get the meeting recording, and you also get like good highlights of what was discussed. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Tony, we can go ahead. We can take the pictures now.
So most of you will not be able to. Guzman, your line is breaking. But I think that
So we can go ahead take the pictures now.
you can take the pictures if you're ready.
Man, our smile is fading.
Yeah, please, Tony, please let's go ahead. Kindly help take the pictures.
Tony's line. I'm not sure. Tony, you are muted.
Okay, so can we take the pictures now? So I'll count to three and then we'll say, what should we say?
Class of WTF class of
Class
2020.
of 2024. Yeah. So okay, WTF class of 2024. So let's say WTF class of 2024. That's Women Tech Fellowship class of 2024. So 1, 2, 3, go. WTF class of 2024. Wow. Usman, I'm sure that
Usman
Yeah,
said you
yeah,
should take the Usman, have you taken it? Usman said you should take the picture.
yeah. We are good. We are good. We are good.
Yeah,
you have
good.
gotten it
Thank
now.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much, Usman. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All
Thank you to
right. So I
everyone
think
on
that we can
YouTube.
call it a day. Much ladies for joining me on the call.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Sorry that we couldn't have you on the one platform so you can engage with us. Email tomorrow. In the meantime, you can just go over the things that we discussed today. And me, Blessing, and Usman, and the entire Tech for Dev team, we're looking forward to properly welcoming you to the Women Texas Fellowship class of 2024. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. It's what messed up.